Hi everyone. Today we'll talk about natural ways to start a conversation with your British friends. But to be honest, you can use these with any of your English-speaking foreign friends. Not only will we look at a few ways you can start a conversation, we'll also look at some ways you can respond to them. So let's jump right into it. Hi David, how are you today? I'm fine, thanks. And you? I'm fine too. Thanks for asking. As you probably guessed, this is absolutely not what we're going to learn today. This is the kind of model conversation you learn when you're first starting to learn English. And it's a good start, but no one really talks like this, so you shouldn't either. So instead of saying, "How are you?" let's look at what you should say instead. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, all good, thanks. What's new? Not much. There's a good reason we're starting with this one. How's it going is the safest and easiest way to sound natural when greeting a friend. You're asking your friend how he or she is right now, just like you would with "How are you?" Notice how he reacted not with "and you," but with "what's new?" This obviously means what's new in your life. And I guess it would be possible here to talk about your new house or your new job or whatever. But to be honest, we Brits get really awkward talking about our own achievements or even just about ourselves generally. And the most modest thing to do is just to say something like, "Not much" or "nothing much." Remember that this is just a conversation starter. So if you really have just bought a $1 million house, been crowned King of Spain, or won an international LOL tournament, it's probably going to come up later in the conversation anyway. So let's listen one more time. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, all good, thanks. What's new with you? Not much. Alright mate, how have you been? Yeah, not too bad, cheers. How about yourself? Same old, same old. This situation is a little different from the first one. If you use "how's it going," you're talking about right now, so it's possible you're seeing your friend fairly often. But in this case, we used "how have you been?" present perfect tense. So what you're really asking is, how have you been since we last met? So it's very important here that a significant period of time has passed since you last saw your friend. Otherwise, you might sound like some kind of obsessive stalker. Of course, there's no hard and fast rule about the length of time you should wait before asking this. And it kind of depends on how often you usually see your friend. I mean, if you're really close and you usually see each other every day, and then you go a whole week without seeing each other, you might ask, "How have you been?" As a general rule, if it's been at least a week or two since you last saw them, you can safely use this without sounding like a complete psycho. And notice the response, "How about you?" or "How about yourself?" This is a much more natural alternative to "and you," which no one ever actually uses. So if you want to throw the question right back at them in a natural way, this is a really good option. Finally on this one, the two expressions we've focused on in this conversation are less casual than in the first conversation. It's also a bit more caring than the first conversation. While "how's it going" is kind of just an icebreaker, "how have you been" has a bit more depth to it. At the very least, it shows you're aware that you haven't seen your friend for a while and is a bit more of a genuine question. So one more time. Alright mate, how have you been? Yeah, not too bad, cheers. How about yourself? Same old, same old. Hey buddy, it's been a while. Too right. What have you been up to? This and that. Like conversation 2, it's been some time since you last saw your friend. It's been a while is a way to show your friend right away that maybe you missed them and you're glad to see them again. And it's a great way to get the conversation going naturally. The response, "What have you been up to?" is a really important one to know. To be or to get up to something just means to do something. And you hear this all the time in everyday conversation. Oh, hey Dave, what are you up to tonight? Do you want to grab some food or something? Did you get up to anything fun yesterday? Oh, I was on the soju last night, so I really haven't been up to much today. So the question, what have you been up to, is just another way of asking, what have you been doing lately? And the response, this and that, is another modest way of playing down what you've actually been doing lately. Remember, never go heavy on the details or feelings at the start of the conversation. It's like swimming. When you go swimming, you don't just dive straight in at the deep end. I mean, you do dive in at the deep end. What I'm trying to say is, it's easier and more normal to dip yourself in at the shallow end and ease your way slowly into the pool. You know what I mean. So if it helps, try to think of a conversation with a Brit as being like a nice, relaxing swim. So let's listen one more time. Hey buddy, it's been a while. Too right. What have you been up to? This and that. Yo Dave, how the devil are you? Fine and dandy. How's tricks? Can't complain. So you probably have a million questions going through your head right now. The devil, tricks, how's tricks, how is tricks? And that's perfectly understandable. I mean, these questions do look crazy. So I should say right away that these are by far the most casual of all the expressions we've learned today. Only use these expressions if you have a close British friend and you want to impress them or make them laugh, because they definitely won't be expecting to hear you say this. How the devil is a really emphatic way of asking someone, how are you, if you haven't seen them for a long time. It feels a bit like podeche in Korean, but it's being used in a kind of joking and exaggerated way here. How's tricks sounds completely wrong. Shouldn't it be how are tricks? Yeah, it should. People also say how's things instead of how are things, because hower is quite hard to say. But even though it's grammatically wrong, in everyday speech, it means the same thing. How's everything going in your life? There is a history behind the phrase how's tricks, but you don't need to worry about that. Just remember it as a fixed expression you can use with close friends to mean how are you? Fine and dandy is just a light-hearted way of saying I'm fine. And as always, can't complain is just a way of playing down anything you've got going on in your life. Yo Dave, how the devil are you? Fine and dandy. How's tricks? Can't complain. So today we've looked at 8 expressions in 4 mini dialogues that can be used to start conversations with your native English-speaking friends. Just 2 things to note before we finish. 1, don't be afraid to mix and match. What I mean is, you can take parts of these dialogues and use them in different places. For basically all of these 8 expressions, except how about yourself, which is obviously a response, you can use them in any order. So you can start with how's tricks and reply using how's it going. Or you can start with what's new and reply using how have you been? Or even it's been a while. It really doesn't matter. Secondly, I should stress that these are casual ways to start conversations with friends. So if you're greeting someone in a job interview or something, of course you shouldn't talk like this. Well, thank you for your application and for attending this job interview. No worries. How's tricks? Fine. First of all, what do you know about our company? Not much. Okay. Well, it's quite a demanding job, so what could you tell me about your skills? Nothing special. Okay. Well, we're looking for someone with experience, so could you tell me what kind of work experience you've had? This and that. Okay. I think we can stop the interview now, so thank you for your time. Smashed it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that rubbish, and I'll see you next time.